that importance of these products, and then we're handing them over to you to see what you do with them. And the producers they're watching and interested. You know, Australian food and cuisine is really is well recognised, and like it's a huge privilege to have these together. And then that even in Japan, these products would be very, very rarely put together. Very rarely put together. And probably there's only one other distributor in the world that's got this. There's a selection of this quality, and that's Japanese Pantry in San Francisco that's doing some really good work there. So that's why. So often we get like, and also I think it's important to say, why is it that a providor is using Japanese ingredients? So you sort of, oh no, he's JFC, they're a specialised, you know, Japanese producer, or June Pacific or whatever. It's like, yeah, no, that's great, but like Bidvest does, you know, Western products as well, right? So why is it that, and acknowledging the fact that providors generally have done, you know, Spanish, Italian, and French products, and that it was worthwhile us looking at and applying that same methodology that we do to French, Italian, and Spanish, and you know, Australian produced products to Japanese products. Yeah, and that's what we do. So anyway, the shoyu production, the koji fermentation of soybeans is a really important part of this, and I sort of broke that up into these products. And we did a tasting on these 6. So here we've got our sort of traditional shoyu, the miso in the middle, and then these more kind of modern flavours here. So we might start with the shiro shoyu. So has everyone got 2 seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So taste this. So shiro shoyu is a product that is much more popular outside Japan than inside Japan. It's almost unknown in Japan. It's also one of those products that is, there's some very, very poor examples of this. Very poor. Like lots of alcohol, lots of preservative, and really not good. Nitto Jozo, we think, is the best producer of this product. They're very close actually in the same town as Mikawa Mirin. And in this you get, this is made with whole Japanese wheat that's been steamed, koji, water, and sea salt. And it's very, very light in colour, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's so popular in the West, because you can season with it without interrupting the colour of the product. It's got kind of flavour, it's a little bit funky, you get the flavours of the koji fermentation in it. So that's Nitto Jozo's Shiro Shoyu. It's labelled Shiro Tamari because it's not, strictly speaking, it wouldn't be a shoyu because it doesn't have soybean.
Where could we taste koji?
What's that, sorry?
Where could we taste koji just to identify?
Oh, we would have some here, I'm sure.
Sorry?
Yeah.
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 Gutsy of
I'd like to taste one.
We've got the dried koji as well.
Yeah, I've got
sure.
the dry one, and
Yeah.
we've got the paste. There's
The
still
Shiro
actually
koji, yeah.
paste there that was from.
Awesome, yeah, thanks.
That's actually really nice. I just think it hasn't sold because it's neglected, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, it's a pretty neat product for us. But this is the best Shiro, like a lot of people will be using Shiro shoyu. They'll be using garbage.
It's like delicious.
Yeah. So next up, we move then, this tells a bit of the story. So one of the things we need to do is educate people so they feel more comfortable around these products. So this is a great way to do that. So we can say, well, this is Shiro shoyu, this is 100% wheat. Now we're going to move to 20% wheat, 80% soybean, and we can see how this product's different. So this is, that's it.
So you could say 80%.
80% soybean, 20% wheat, yeah.
So we've got 2 different types of koji.
Yeah.
That's the yamaki one that's been fixed up, right?
Yeah. So this is koji. Koji is
The rice product?
no, it's koji is so the koji is the mold spore, right? But you want to preserve the mold spore, so you have to put it on something. So you put it on steamed wheat, and then you dry it out. So it's called a substrate.
So this is steamed wheat.
Steamed rice.
Oh, steamed, yeah.
That's had koji grown on it, and then it's been dried.
Okay.
Yeah, this would have been commercially.
They just inoculate it.
Yeah. So can I eat it just like that?
Totally. Yeah, it won't taste it very much. So this would have been like commercially dried. Yamaki make their own koji seasonally and dry it in their factory naturally, just on trays, and that's the one we're going to be getting. So this is, you would have heard shiroshoyu before. We're not going to sell shiroshoyu. Shirakoji rather. Because you can make shirakoji very, very easily by getting this product and putting some salt with it and a little bit of water and just blending it up and leaving it for like 24 hours. And when I was saying Yamaki, do you make one? And I was saying, yeah, we make one, but like no one buys it because everyone makes it. So you can just have this in your pantry and make.
Use that sample from it of interest.
That's Yamaki, yeah.
Oh,
so we might try this.
Yeah.
So
it's all the rage with chefs.
Isn't it? Yeah. So I think this is again an example where we can really give a very good example of it.
So water,
we really
salt,
need
did you say?
on the list.
Well, it's coming.
Yeah, I was going to say everyone's asking for it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why, but everyone's asking for it.
Well, I guess when you start speaking about this stuff, it opens up the conversation. So, and then when you go, oh no, we don't have that, it's kind of like.
But what would they do with it?
I used to sell a lot.
So meat tenderizer.
So like sort of can dry out all this.
Oh, okay.
You like marinate it over a piece
So
of meat.
it breaks down the
proteins.
yeah. So like
It's like Moo have stuff like cuts, like
They
over
would
their
have-
steaks.
So would have that.
Yeah.
It's only this. There's no comparative products.
No,
Like
there's
paste.
yeah. So there is shirakoji down here.
Yeah, because this looks a little bit like more liquid and like.
Yeah, so yeah, you can make it however you
Depends
want.
how.
Yeah.
If you
But
sell
that's
that
why we're
out,
better off
you
going
try to.
selling the koji, telling people how to do it.
And
And
they use it for different things.
the nice point of shirikoji is that the meat softer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
So
predominant
this
use.
plus
Yeah.
water and salt.
Because of the
They take
enzyme.
about 24 hours.
Because of the
Wow.
enzymes.
Enzyme.
Blitz
Because
it
of
up
the
and
Yep,
mix
just
it
put it in your
together.
blender.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
right.
Yeah.
So what would chefs be comparative chefs using now to make their meat?
They've got
They use shirakoji
Oh, they are.
through Mary Missy. Yeah.
And look, it's awesome. I don't want to say
Wow.
bad things about
Jazzy.
Maramiso, but they haven't visited Japan.
Yeah.
Like,
And they.
And it's awesome that they're having a crack. Like, it's great. We want to encourage people to be trialing these things in Australia. But as people learn more, anyway, so where do we get up to? So Yamaki. This often gets overlooked in our presentation because we got like you get down here the ponzu and it's really delicious. But this is like a must-have for a kitchen. This is made for the Empress household. It's the top product that Yamaki make. It's Yamaki's 100-plus-year-old family-owned company. Jozo means fermentation house, so that's what they do. And this is made with steamed whole Japanese soybean, wheat, koji, mountain spring water, and salt. So I'll go through those in order. So whole Japanese soybean. So 80% of even Japanese soy, which of course we can just presume is much better and higher quality than say Chinese soy. Even 80% of Japanese soy is made with defatted soybean grits. So a defatted soybean grit is you get a soybean and you use a chemical solvent to extract out the soybean oil, and then you sell the soybean oil as a commodity, and you're left with soybean grits, and that's like all the major grains you can imagine are made that way. This, however, uses the traditional method of using whole soybeans. Then Japanese steamed wheat, and then koji is added to it, and then the mountain spring water. It's genuinely mountain spring water. Yamaki is quite high up in the mountains, but they've run a pipe up into the mountains, into a spring, and when the water comes into the factory, there's a Shinto shrine to the water that comes in, and then that's all mixed together, and when it's mixed together, it's called a morami. And if you turn to the Yamaki page in the little booklet, you'll see the Koji-san with a big long sort of instrument that is plunging into the morami, and those barrels are over 100 years old. The art form for making those barrels has basically died out, and Yamaki has the largest holding of those barrels in Japan. They're a really important part of this fermentation. They've got like 32, 34 of them. The whole, I think, 16,000 litres. They're enormous. They'd be kind of wider than this room. And if you imagine 30 of these in a room, it's a big, massive room. The Toji-san's walking around. So there's only really 2 people, the Toji-san and his apprentice, that really manage that. It's a long, slow process of 2 summers. I thought initially that it was a mistranslation, that she meant, oh no, it was 2 years, but it's actually not. It's the peaks of the summer that are important in temperature, because they speed up in the summertime, and then it slows down, and it's a maturation period through the winter, and then it speeds up one more. So at the end of that period, when the Toji-san judges that the fermentation and aging has completed, he'll taste out of each barrel, and each barrel will have its own micro, kind of climate, its own, flora, and slightly different flavours, similar to winemaking. And the Toji-san then will blend out to the Yamaki house style. So he'll blend, say, 50% of that, 25% of that, 25% of that. So the moramis are then mixed according to that, and then they're brought into the pressing room. And in the pressing room, there's a reservoir built on the ground, and a metal bracket put into that, and then a cloth, a square cloth. It's about probably, this big. A cloth is put in, and onto the cloth are sort of leaves that fold out that way. So the morami is bucketed in, and then they fold the leaves over, and then you're left with like a pillow of morami about this big. And then there's another bracket put on top, and another cloth put in, and the morami comes in, and then it's the same thing, and again and again and again. And when we got there, it was 3 stories high, this tower of morami pillows. And we went up the staircase, and they were still doing it at the top. And that pressure of the weight of that, and you imagine the huge pressure that's involved in that, is pressing out the morami, squeezing it out of the cloth, and the juice of the morami is running down and being collected in the bottom, and then that's it. So that's show you. It's the juice of the morami.
It's just crazy, the process.
Mm.
I mean, think of like cheese making process, prosciutto making process.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So that is, and the thing about the taste on this is like, so if you compare this to what is commercially available, you're talking made from defat soybean grits as opposed to whole Japanese soybeans. You're talking about fast fermentation, maximum 3 months, as opposed to 2 summers. Fermented in stainless steel as opposed to 100-year-old wooden barrels.
Caramel and sugar.
Town water, commercial salt, all of those things, plus hard pressing, and the koji varieties would be commercially developed koji varieties to be fast fermenting in the same way that like Tip Top uses commercially developed yeast to fast ferment, and then pressed out, hard pressed, really hard pressed, and then probably fortified with caramels, and then also preservatives, most commonly an alcohol preservative, which of course if you're using as dipping sauce, you're just getting straight in your palate as well. So this is a world away from that, an absolute world away from this. In fact, this is made for the Emperor's household. It's, again, like you were saying, like what is, how good can show you get? Well, here you go. How much is it? It's like, it's less than a cheap bottle of wine. $24.50. Yeah. This was a litre bottle, so in 750ml equivalent is like a $12-14 bottle of wine. Like it's,
It's next level.
Yeah. And it's the best. So if you think about this way of, I think there are flavours that can only come from long, slow fermentation and aging. So when you season with this, you're seasoning with salt, but also you bring in all those other, very complex. If you do a chemical analysis on this, you'd see that there's probably hundreds of really complex compounds in it. It's not equivalent. I know it's become sort of fashionable to re-embrace MSG, but MSG is like seasoning with refined sugar or table salt. It's a very one-dimensional thing. This is much more complex. Yeah, multi-dimensional.
Do they do a shiro?
They do not.
Okay.
No. This is the only one.
They do
that
Well, that was the question
soybean,
that's come
that's their
out.
thing, so-
Well, a couple of people have asked if they did those.
No.
That's why we've got the Nido jersey there.
So this is a super rare product in Japan. I think, you know, like we've got it, we want to show it, but I think you get that complexity and flavour through from the soybean.
So do we know much about the Nido jersey producers? Sorry, it's just a question.
Yeah, I haven't.
Now
So
that-
Nido Joso is very close to I'm terrible with the pronunciation.
Mikami and Ito Shoten.
And so they're an older company. They've been producing this high-grade product since the early 1990s. Interestingly, they've is it Hainan City?
Hekinan.
City.
Hekinan is a very, very important city food. I can call it a fermentation city.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Shiro Tamari and Ito Shoten Tamari and Mikami and Mitsukan as well. It's there. Mitsukan vinegar as well.
And but they have, so their production facility is still in the city, but for this product they've taken over an elementary school 2 hours drive away up in the mountains, in the Toyota Mountains, and it's a cool climate there, lending itself better to this type of fermentation, and it's also giving them access to the water that's there. So why a school? Well, in Japan, there's a reduction in the population, and country areas are becoming, vastly depopulated. So they brought back life into the village as well.
We saw some images when Tokyo Mitchell were out. They showed us of the
Oh,
school.
Nido Joso.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, was that on their? Where did we find those?
On their website, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Because we're doing a community.
But Takiro has visited.
So this picture is this one. Yeah, this is the old school buildings.
Yeah, they showed us a picture of like the playgrounds.
Yeah.
It's quite fascinating.
Yeah, this is a classroom.
So we tasted the Maki Joso shoyu. So we might taste the tamari. So the tamari now is, we're going up to 100% soybean. And the first thing you should get your customers to do is compare the dark colour and the viscosity of it as well. It's thicker, it's darker. When you taste it, the flavour is much more powerful. It doesn't have kind of the finesse of Maki Joso, but it has lots of power. It's like Vegemite almost. I think that idea of using it in jus is a really great one. Because yeast extract is the thing that people use.
Some people think that all tamaris are gluten free, but they're not because they have koji.
Yeah.
So they might think that they're using a gluten free product, whereas ours is. So.
And I think.
What do they use?
Takara, would you? So the fermentation, the ingredients in this are whole Japanese soybeans, obviously, because it's part of our range, but more widely, tamari would be made from